including YouTube. My name is Drew Resorti. That's right, Tuz Resorti. I don't know why. It's you want all blah, 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 Resorti, etc. Good. Hello, friends. It's a Sunday. I have not showered. Here we are on the weekend. I was not supposed to be here. I was supposed to be away getting ready for the vacation. And yet here we are, live one more time. Noms, why are we live?
I have no idea. Why are we here?
Why are we all here? That is the real question worth asking, I do believe.
That's what they want to know. They're like, why am I here?
They're right. I did say important stories. There's an important story to share. Of course, I just couldn't quit you all. We are going away on vacation back in a week or so. But yes, we're still going on vacation. This is not me attempting to...
These people have lives to lead today. They had other plans.
I didn't use the emergency word. If these people have important things to do, they can go do them. This is partially in order to ensure there's a VOD available if people want to check in. The reason why is there's a story to share with you all. That will be out of date when we get back. It'll no longer be as good, and so I wanted to get live for a little while, come by and say hi for half an hour or so, and just tell you a story, and maybe play a couple little chat games possibly. We'll see, and then move on with our vacation, I guess. So I think, Noms, do you think it's a little bit silly that we're here?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a little bit silly, but that's okay. That's how it goes. Stories have freshness dates. I mean, what can I say? I think it's just that the stories have, because many of you know what I am doing from day to day due to the check-ins, the stories have relevance to your sense of me and to my sense of myself. Right? If a story has happened a month ago, I could tell it with less vivancy, less poignancy, less vivacity. Yeah, less poignancy, less vivacity, less interest after that month or so than if it happens yesterday. I say it the next day, possibly. You're gonna hear a lot of missaid words this morning. I've not spoken hardly at all. I've not taken my good morning shower. It's all different.
Iowa is coated in ice. Ooh, contraption. Ooh.
Iowa is coated in ice, indeed. Yeah.
Remember what that's like?
I kind of enjoyed it. Right? I kind of enjoyed it when we could stay in the house and stay nice and toasty warm. But yeah, going outside and stopping the ice, fighting the ice with a snow shovel and a...
Yeah, we did not have a snowblower.
That's true, and an ice pick and so on. Or well, not an ice pick, what's it called? It's like metal thing on a large stick. You break the ice this way.
We didn't have one of those. We had a hoe or a shovel.
Yeah, but there's a special tool you can use. I don't know.
But remember when the big... Oh, yeah. Like the scraper for your car?
Yeah, that's not what I mean, but there's a tool you can use to strike ice on the ground. Sorry, the striking part is not up here, it's down there. You strike...
I just use the end of the shovel.
Oh, that works too.
But I was thinking about when the snow plow goes by and then they dump even more snow on your driveway.
It's true. It's one of these common good things. The roads being clear is more important than your house being clear, despite the fact that you've just worked very, very hard to clear it, etc. But no, I'm glad not to have to spend time out in the snow anymore, but I do miss the experience of being snowed in a little bit. Not really, can't leave the house for a month and a half or anything, but, just being stuck inside for a day or two.
You don't miss the snow? Before you said that, you don't miss having...
So what I meant is I don't miss fighting with the snow in particular. So Noms is currently thinking, Resorti.
Well, we have made a giant mistake and we will actually be here this week, is what I am thinking.
Resorti, the whole reason we're going to Hokkaido in the north is so you can go see your snow. What do you mean you don't miss the snow? No, I do miss the snow. But not the experience of snow shoveling and scraping the car and going and sitting in the car to wait for it to warm up. This experience is always horrible. The seats feel as if they're made of concrete when you get inside the car. Oh, so unpleasant. Do we get snow? Absolutely, we get snow, just not very much each year. Usually only a couple days of snow, really, here in Tokyo.
And it doesn't really stick around.
Yeah, if you know the geography of the U.S., Tokyo is roughly in line with Virginia, and Virginia also doesn't get a ton of snow. Also, we're coastal, which changes things too, and I don't really know any of this.
But it's really, really, really dry in the winter and really, really, really humid in the summer. Isn't that pleasant?
It is absolutely true, absolutely true. Before living here, I never quite understood the value of a humidifier. But now I definitely get it, and it's a strange thing just for bed, turning on this little machine and watching water come into the air. I think previously I'd seen humidifiers where I knew what they were doing generally, but I would never see the water vapor actually arriving on the scene. So,
yeah, my parents were obsessed with them, and now I know why.
Because they came from Japan
they're
also.
They're from here. They're like, of course you have a humidifier in the winter. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Also in the U.S.,
real quick. I just now realized my grandparents had a dehumidifier they were obsessed with. They're from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Which is a super humid place. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Yeah.
Also, these days in the States, most humidifying and dehumidifying is also handled centrally. So a lot of them have it built into the central air.
I see. Yeah.
Do we miss central air?
I miss the ability to turn on a temperature and then not think about it anymore. We're here as I go from room to room. I have this moment of what do I want this room temperature to be? Yeah. Noms, would you like the heater on in here?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I am not wearing shorts today.
I checked to see real quick. Klaus, I read your long message here, expecting a pun at the end, but no, I'm glad you had a nice time watching the football match, and I'm glad that Navy won. Unfortunately, in Noms' big game of the year, her favorite team did not win, unfortunately. It's okay. They'll win next year. Better luck next time. I almost said what game it was. That would then give away where you went to university, so let's keep that quiet.
Me and 50,000 other
Yeah,
people.
you and an army of humans, but all good. Let's see here. Anything else to share real quick before we get to the story at hand? Well, Wrexham. I stayed up until midnight o'clock to watch the Wrexham match. It was lethargic through and through. Wrexham went behind early. Oh, I should mention, they were playing against the team in second to last place, while they, of course, are second to first place right now, and so they should have beat them by a country mile. Should have absolutely dominated them, but they.
I was wondering if they would know what a country mile is.
Oh, a country mile.
No, not they. The Wrexham people, because they are in, the UK.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where they have kilometers. Country kilometers.
Hey, friends who are...
Country 2.5 kilometers.
1 second. Friends who are from the UK, what do you use for your distances?
Oh.
They use miles. It's one of these weird things where they do indeed use the metric system for most things, but miles for driving and such. Sorry, Noms.
That's
excellent joke, though.
So driving...
Excellent jokes.
And running, then, is done in... You do miles.
I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, miles through and through, and miles per hour, yeah. Stones for weight. Let's not talk about stones for weight. That's very confusing. Because it's one of these things that I know the number, I knew at one point the number of what a stone means, but it's so arbitrary.
I thought it was 20 pounds.
Yeah, I recognize that it's all arbitrary in some sense, like what's a foot, etc. But it just feels to me, having learned of stones as an adult, that, honestly, the first time I ever heard of stones, I was, probably reading some children's fantasy novel. And I thought, oh, that's cute. In this little forested elf village, they haven't come up with real measurements. So like, look, we have some stones. This is how much a stone weighs. And only later did I realize that, yes, indeed, people in the world use the stone. So it's fine. It's just my own ignorance as an American, but there you go. 14 pounds to 1 stone. Hey, thank you for that knowledge. Appreciate that. Stones that become chunks and pebbles. Exactly right. The unified slab, all very useful. Okay, why are we talking about this? Miles, right. So Wrexham should...
these poor people, they're like, why are we here? They're in a musical.
I believe this is how the Resorty stream works. We say some words, it reminds us of something else. We then follow that path for a while. That path raises new interesting questions. We go that way for a while. And eventually we hopefully work our way back here. Though it usually requires a quick conversation of how on earth did I get here? Insert talking head lyrics here. And then they'll help me get back usually. But in this case, we're on the Wrexham match real quick. And it's up at midnight. Wrexham give up the first goal. Which they shouldn't do to a team in 23rd place. But they do, and they lethargically play for a while, and then they manage to draw, and they manage to go one ahead, and the match is going along. It gets on to the 90th minute or so, very end of the match. We're gonna win by 1 point. Good. And then for the second game in 5, we give up a penalty kick in the very last moments of the game. They score, of course. It becomes 2-2. It's a draw. And so our beloved heroes, Wrexham, did not win this week against the almost worst team in the league. Instead, they drew. It's not a loss. It's worth points, but man, having a draw or even a loss that way is so deflating because you're going into the last minutes excited, happy, win. And then, unfortunately, your whole attitude for the week ahead changes because no more Wrexham for a whole week. What will I do? Anyway, that story dealt with. Noms has left the room briefly, and so I don't want to tell the story until Noms is back. Some of you have worried this story might mean the cancellation of vacation. Let me be very clear. No, we're still leaving tomorrow morning. I think our plane's at 11 a.m. or so. Today we're still packing, though we will be visiting Akihabara to take Noms to a keyboard store. Some of you over on the Discord have begun helping Noms better understand the world of keyboards and switches and so on. And I'm expecting that Noms will probably not buy today. I mean, if you do, I'll be very pleased, but you'll probably not buy a keyboard, but you might buy something.
Yeah, that store has I think it's more parts and things. They have a few whole keyboards, but really they're much more a custom keyboard place. So I will probably buy one that's already assembled instead of buying a kit, although it would probably be cool to put my own together. But if they have a pre-assembled one, that is pretty much what I want. I mean, if they have a kit that results in what I want, I'm perfectly fine and happy to do the jigsaw puzzle over break and make my own.
Very cool. The issue with that, of course, will be getting all the pieces and parts you need in the right amount for the jigsaw puzzle, right?
Well, it's a kit, so... Okay,
cool. In that case, we'll definitely check that out. I look forward to see what's there.
I just don't want to solder.
At least ones like mine, you just click on in. They're a quick replacement, I believe, as opposed to soldering. That said, if you need to solder, I know how to solder, allegedly.
They have a solder there, and
a soldering gun, so-called?
Yeah, they have all of, they also specialize in, if you bring all your stuff in, you can, rent time with all the tools.
That's cool.
The little workbench.
As that began, I thought you were going to say, they had a community shared keyboard station where you could use their tools as this way of, supporting the local community, but of course you can even buy and sell time, so... That's too bad, but...
I don't remember. Maybe it is free, but I thought it was...
Yeah, like I said, though, I do know how to solder if you need help with that. It'd be fun. I've not soldered at all since I was probably 16 or 17, back when I was putting in our computers with my old grandpa and, on and tinkering in his basement, which was a time I learned a lot about myself and about computers and so on. Keyboard assembly stream. We've already promised a cooking stream in the new year. We've already... we already promised a lot of streams in the new year, including the much vaunted philosophy stream and a karaoke stream, and. I think the keyboard assembly stream probably will not happen, but gosh, who knows?
Because we'll buy it pre-assembled.
But we'll show whatever we get anyway. Hey, Grumpy, thank you for the suggestion. So ZSA Moonlander keyboard, might be worth checking out. There's a little link there. I do wonder if that link ships to Japan, but we'll look in a bit.
It's zsa.io.
Absolutely. Input, output. Oh, anyone know what the IO, what's it called? Domain?
Ionia.
Domain name is? I know often smaller nations will sell their interesting domain extensions, or domain extensions rather. What's the big example of this? It's Indian Ocean. Wait, really?
Oh.
Now, I don't want to say the Indian Ocean is not a country, not a state,
It's
but
probably owned by Elon Musk.
Yeah, they Tuvalu, whatever it is .tv, which is huge for, of course.
It's twitch.tv, right?
Exactly. Yes, we're located on what I believe is a small island. I might be wrong about that.
Yeah, are you doing a land recognition?
Maybe. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I must get to this story because I told Noms to be live for about half hour, 45 minutes.
I was gonna say that that the keyboard stores in Akihabara Akihabara did used to be an electronics destination once upon a time, and now it's mostly maid cafes and game arcades. But it was where people went before the interwebs to get a lot of computer parts, and that's how it made its name.
Yeah, yes. Part of this, as I'm sure you know, Noms, and maybe other people already know also, is the shifting meaning of what being a nerd has been. And so it's like it's nerd culture area in some way, and nerd culture has shifted from being like the strong interest in electronics and that kind of geekery, which I think the word geek may be an unkind word referring to people who work at circuses, but from nerdery of that kind to instead like spending time with anime things, possibly. I don't know exactly, but also like Nam said, the advent of the internet, being able to order computer parts to your home is a big shift. And then also the increasing proliferation of knowledge about what different older technology is worth. So people began, I think in the early 2000s, buying up lots and lots and lots of old Japanese gaming technology to send to the U.S. in order to sell for a profit. And, you know, while we want to say good job industry, good job curiosity, it is also the fact that it made it a very unpleasant place, I understand it. People would go there expecting to be able to look through some cool old technology, maybe buy it for their own use, only to see these stores so full of people who were clearly buying in bulk for something other than their own use. And I think it's a little sad in some ways. But capitalism reigns supreme, man.
It's like what happened to, like in the reverse was that in Japan people really liked used American clothing, especially like Levi's and stuff like that. This was like in the 80s, maybe 70s, 80s, and so lots of Japanese people went to the States and raided, like, what do you call those?
Thrift stores.
Yeah, raided thrift stores and, what's the big chain?
Goodwill.
Goodwill, yeah. Raided those to get, like, American-looking clothing and then send them back to Japan where they are sold at, I think that still happens, right? They're sold at much, much higher prices.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, many of you know, the market in used or old denim from a certain era is really, really ridiculous. As someone who wants to say, those are just pants. Those are partially worn out pants. Why are you spending so much money on old, holy pants? Old, holy pants. The right knee is fraying. Very good. These things come to mind and I must do them. And Noms just stares as if she's not even heard the things I've said. And I think because of that, I assume that everyone else in the world is just staring dead ahead. Where I need to believe at least a small smile has been cracked somewhere. But just dead ahead. Noms, thank you for... Thank you for helping me. I appreciate it.
This is like when the chimp is smiling.
It's Chimp smiling, meaning anger as opposed to delight. Okay, story time. We're gathered here today to hear this story. I would like.
Bum, bum, ba, bum. Bum, bum, ba, bum.
Oh, that's so pleasant. She sang a recognizable song for reasons appropriate because the man said, "We're gathered here together." What a great joke. I enjoyed that, Noms.
That's how I'm going to reply to your jokes from now on. I understand. Now that I have I've seen it modeled for me, I will do that.
Oh no, I've caused problems. Okay, so many of you know that I live in a sitcom. I live in an episode of the Larry David Show, and I don't know how these things keep happening, but this is the centerpiece of a new episode I've decided.
I know how these things keep happening.
I'll be curious at the end to hear your take on how these things keep happening.
I'm sure Stream knows too.
There's some stream modes also. All right, we'll see in a moment. So many of you know that we are hiring a cat sitter. We're hiring a cat sitter who will look after Mr. Fritz between tomorrow and Friday when we get back, Friday evening when we get back from our trip to Hokkaido. Good fun, good fun.
Receive snow.
Receive snow, all very good. So yesterday evening, we had planned, after a week of back and forth, to see our cat sitter, to meet the cat sitter. She was thinking about coming earlier in the week on Tuesday or Thursday, but ultimately Saturday worked out best for her and for us also. And you might recall that on stream, a while back, we did this ridiculous, where is it here? We did a ridiculous comparison between the two sitters. We talked our way through, which of the people might indeed be best. We voted together that the German woman seemed preferable to the Spanish man, even though it is indeed the case that the Spanish man had almost 100 reviews on the whole, very positive, and the German woman had no reviews, zero, none. We decided it's good to take a risk on new people because obviously we all start somewhere, we all need some help, etc.
I like how tattoos figures prominently in. How do you know the lady doesn't have tattoos?
I mean, as I talked through on the day we did this, we do not know for sure she has no tattoos, but in the pictures on the website, she had no visible tattoos. Where the Spaniard had full sleeve tattoos all the way down to his wrists, and so it was very clear he wanted to show there's a tattooed person. Where
You're saying he's Yakuza.
I'm not saying he's part of the gangs. I'm just saying that in Japanese culture, we are afraid of tattoos. And this person has made a clear statement that they are tattoo guy. And that means something, possibly. Now, as you might know, at this point when you're on screen, this is a bit, because the whole thing's a bit. But that's fine. That's fine.
Because maybe the Spaniard is one of those people that goes climbing at the bouldering gym that I go to. There's lots of tattooed people there.
Yeah, I mean, like
maybe
I said,
he's a cool dude.
It's a bit, etc., etc.
A cool dude.
The cat doesn't care. See, this is actually not true. One of the major reasons we went with the German woman is because she's a woman. We believe in affirmative act. No. My cat Fritz is afraid of men in general, other than me. Wait, why are you laughing?
I don't know.
I said...
Oh no, I put my mug down on my hair.
I said that the cat's afraid of men other than me. Were you worried, or should I have been worried that I was excluding myself from the category of manhood?
I don't know.
Oh, very good. Whatever happens. Right. So yesterday she came. We agreed she'd arrive at between 5 and 6. We went about our daily affairs, went and did our shopping, I think, and got Noms' plants from the plant store. We tidied up the whole darn. So I think plants from the plant store I meant from your office, actually.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about?
I was thinking about the place we went to do some quick shopping as a pharmacy, and then I wanted to talk about the distinction between pharmacies and drugstores, but yes, from the plant store we got the plants, Noms' office, we brought them home, take care of them over the break, etc. But we got home, we cleaned up a little bit, made sure it was all ready. And then I got a message from her. I got a message from her that she had arrived, but she didn't know which of the two doors of our duplex was the correct door to go in. Now, at this moment, I thought back and saw my own messages that when I told her where to come, I did say the left door is mine. Oh, ads are running. I'm going to hold off on the story. Even though I know full well that I should incentivize subscriptions, I know full well that I should say, if you don't subscribe, you don't get to hear my stories. But that's a terrible thing.
Yeah, also because this is the entire reason for today's stream.
It's true.
So then it's really oh, I'm sorry. It's morning. It's the whole reason for today's stream, which means that when they come back, they'll say, wait, what happened? And either you'll have to say it again, or the nice people in chat will have to summarize it.
Yeah.
For
Nobody
them,
wants
it's
that.
like, yeah. It's not fair.
Yeah, I mean, fair is a weird word. Minute 30 left to vamp. So, what else we got? Anything else in my life happening right now? I'm a little nervous about flying here in the Japanese domestic airlines because, on the whole, Japanese things are made for smaller people. On the whole, I am not a smaller person. Now, we went ahead and looked at the various airlines to determine which one had the most overall seat width as well as the most overall seat length.
Oh, you looked at width as well?
I did look at width also.
I know you looked at depth because you wanted to see how much foot space you would have.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of cramming my beautiful form into a seat that is not made for my beautiful form sounds very, very unpleasant. And so, as you know,
not
Noms,
my beautiful form.
as you know, Noms, when we get onto the bus each time, if we have a seat side by side, you get in first and pull yourself aside a little bit. Because if you don't, I sit down on top of you.
Yeah, it's true. I sit on one butt cheek when I go in
Yeah.
those. I sit on my right butt cheek and smash my left butt cheek into the wall so as to make maximum room for a resortee.
Yeah, it's just that Japanese vehicles are made for Japanese-sized people, and on the whole, the Japanese are a slight people. And that's fine. That's fine. I'm an American and like of what? Germanic extraction, and so there's a lot of me, and that's fine. Width of the shoulders, width of the hips.
I was just thinking about Sting's song, Englishman in New York. Your version would be kind of funny. His is like, it's like how he has, he has tea instead of coffee and things like that.
Yeah.
Yours would be like, I am too wide for your seats.
My little
butt
knees
sticks out into the aisle.
Noms could sit on my lap. I mean, that's very, very cute, but that would cause a scene in the case of the bus, and I believe we get a scolded in the case of the airplane. So I'm not that large. I don't want to overstate matters. I don't need two seats by any means myself. It's just a matter of if I'm not like really scrunching in.
It might be much more comfortable.
Yeah, I'd be more comfortable.
Space.
That's the entire thing. Oh, you mean if I had two seats, I'm more comfortable? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not considered super small here. Like yesterday, like I said, last night I went climbing, and yesterday there was a woman who was smaller than I was.
Sure.
So
You have a height in this case.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're what, just under 5 feet, possibly.
I am at 5 feet.
At 5 feet, okay. Yeah, that's about that. That's how it goes. All right, welcome back, ad viewers. The story is finally here. I bet at least one person came in saying, Resorty is here to tell the big story, the best story ever, and now we've been live for more than half an hour. Where's the story? I'm sorry, I'm not intentionally delaying. It's just
they're like other people have gone live. I am missing out on my other favorite streamer that I usually watch on Saturday.
like I said, the VOD is here for that purpose. We're partially talking to posterity right now. Okay, team. So yesterday, we got a text from the cat sitter saying she was outside. As I mentioned, this surprised me. She couldn't decide which door to knock on or to ring because She wasn't sure which one's which, even though I sent her a message saying earlier it's at this address, the left door. So that was surprising. Seemed like a kind of inattention to details. Hello?
I have something to say about that. On the left door, you will recall that our number plate is on around the corner. So she might have been like, it's on the left. Oh, there are 2 doors on the left.
It's true. It's true. I don't know if I said when facing the building, when facing the front doors. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I've said that before when people are visiting us. I may have not said that. Thank you for...
I know you did because I read your message.
Okay, very good. And thank you. So she sent the message saying that she's outside, and I said, oh, great, here I go. Bill Resorti bounds down the stairs to greet our cat sitter. And so I open the door and look out, and yes, indeed, there she is. And she's looking towards the other door, and I call out, hello, hello. You know, I go ahead and go with the old English there because we've been messaging English, no problems. And yeah, she doesn't really respond, but eventually she looks my way and looks towards me and makes kind of like a surprised face. I say, yeah, come in, yeah, hello. And she moves my way. She moves my way, and she gets closer to me. And I say, oh, yeah, welcome. I step backwards through the door. Come on in. And I realize at this moment, she's not saying anything to me. I think, man, is she nervous? Man, did I do something wrong here? But I keep backing in. I'm smiling excitingly. She comes in and she takes off her boots. And I say to her, man, those are lovely boots. I really like them. Trying to make her feel at ease. And she does not smile. She just kind of stares mutely at me. And I say, man, this is surprising. And she keeps coming in. And I have this moment of, now, many of you know she's a German woman. And though I believe that Europeans speak better English than I do, is it possible that she does not speak English?
I would like to point out that Pendate has said that not smiling is normal for Germans.
It's true.
Because we're like, aha, hi, we're Midwesterners.
It's true.
And
yeah.
the Europeans are like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that. That one way to pick out Americans, most places around the world, is we smile far too often. It's very uncomfortable making for some people. Uncomfortable making, that's a good phrase. Right, so she comes towards me, and I show her the cat boxes, and she nods towards me, and I'm like, oh man, I have made her so awkward. This is really terrible. And so I, walk up the stairs, and she's following me, and I say, nice day, and some other words here, and eventually get upstairs to the floor here, up to the main floor where Noms is, and I try to find some way to say to Noms, would you please speak in German? Would you please engage her in German? We've told her that she's told me that she's from Germany. I've told Noms that we might need German here, but Noms does not. What's up, Noms?
Yeah, I could tell that you wanted me to speak in German, but I didn't because, one, you all had been interacting online in English. Now, yes, it's possible that maybe, like, she was using a translation device.
Yeah.
But two, yeah, most Germans are very good at English.
Sure.
And especially if you're in Japan, you don't know Japanese, then English is going to be your lingua franca. And
Absolutely.
I didn't want to be that person that was like, oh, let me try to speak ineptly in your quote-unquote native language so I can communicate with you. Like, I didn't want to be that person.
Your German's not inept, but with that said, I understand that absolutely.
Yeah. Like, if it's like when people come... Oh, it's like when I don't quite hear something in Japanese, and so then people switch immediately to English to me.
Sure.
And I'm like, hello, excuse me.
It's true. It's annoying.
So because that happens, I did not want to speak to her in
All
German.
good reasons.
I thought it might be, patronizing.
Absolutely. So we get upstairs. And Noms greets her also, and this is nice. And the woman reaches into her bag and gets her phone. And I say, oh, okay, here we go. Because we're both speaking English, it's time for the translation app. Probably once the app is being used, Noms will then decide to chime on in German to show we can do this thing no problem. problem. But she has her app out, and no, she doesn't go for the translation app. Instead, she points to the local WhatsApp and Line social media apps, and indicates which one she wants. And I say, oh, Line's good. I show her the sheet of paper. We've written down our Line name and so on. And then only in this moment do I recognize I'm pretty sure she doesn't speak. And then I realize when she's not looking at me, she has not heard the things I'm saying to her. I am relatively sure that our friend is mute and deaf. And this has been an experience. Because cool, but man, that was awkward and uncomfortable. Just because I thought I was embarrassing myself. I thought I was I probably was regardless. I thought I was making her feel uncomfortable. I thought I was treating her unwell. And this like absolute panic over, oh no, Resorty, what are you doing? Finally clicked into place. And so at this point, in an attempt to save the day, I began interacting primarily with very, very large gestures, which I don't know if is the good call. After she was gone, I felt really, really foolish. I came downstairs to play the trading card game to settle down a little bit. But yeah, there's more to say about that for a moment. But Noms, I think you made the connection before I did. How was that for you?
It was fine. She didn't, I think, yeah, because she didn't say anything about it, I thought, okay, she doesn't want me to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
So I didn't treat her any differently. So no. I spoke with her and everything. And she seemed to understand. Like, she asked me questions. Yeah. So...
But she asked, I want to put in a case, she asked them in a non-verbal way.
Yeah.
Right, so it's not that I'm wrong about her potentially being mute.
No.
Instead, she like pointed towards the cat and did numbers in her hands.
Yeah, and she asked that's how she asked me how old.
Absolutely.
But what I mean by that is that she was eliciting information or soliciting information from me, which I could only deliver orally.
Yeah, so she probably does read lips, and that's really, really cool. But it made me realize. It made me realize while I was saying like, "Oh, I like your boots so much. You have very nice boots." That she was looking at her boots to take them off when I greeted her initially, and she, she was looking the other way. It's why she didn't respond to me. But again, after the fact, this recontextualizes so much of what I was feeling very, very awkward about. And so, we gave her the money for visiting. We went ahead and thanked her for coming to see us by text later. And then Noms, I had a conversation about this, about like the politics of deafness. And we know it's the case that a lot of people who are not able to hear, don't hear, think of this as a primary identity in the same way they might think of themselves as Americans or men or otherwise. It's an important part of themselves, and they don't want to diminish it, but instead embrace it. So what you said, Noms, about you weren't going to acknowledge it until she did, I think is really cool. I think that's a good thing. But I was thinking, I don't want to ever say that anyone has to disclose what they're up to. I don't want anyone to have to disclose what they can do, can't do, etc. Except she was coming to offer a service. She was coming as an interview in some way. And so that surprised me that she wouldn't make some indication. The standard would be some kind of like putting one's hand over one's mouth. Had she done that instantaneously, I would have known what's going on.
She's like, I have bad breath today.
Yeah. But I wouldn't have read it as bad breath. In the moment, it would have explained what was happening in a way of her just kind of staring at me and not responding to anything I said was not making sense. Because I think when meeting new people, especially women, I tend to assume that if something is going wrong, it's on my side and I'm creeping them out somehow. And so I ran very quickly through everything I'd said, trying to make sure I wasn't moving too close to her or like staring at her body, or I was pretty sure I was in the clear there. So we noticed, of course, that she hadn't put this fact about her onto her profile on the pet sitter page. And again, I don't think one has to do this, but if you're interviewing for a position, it's just, I think, the case that you want to put the person who's interviewing you at ease in some ways. Importance of the profile, I went back and looked, is not in the profile. But Noms, you had a really good point about why it might not be in the profile.
Yeah, I mean, especially if she's just starting out, she might not get anybody. If she's up against the Spaniard, the tattooed Spaniard, she's like, that guy, maybe it was in her profile, and she wasn't getting any jobs because of it.
Absolutely. Right? It's possible that in the initial negotiation period, before you send the money her way and go into escrow and she comes over, she might have said, hey, just so you know, I don't speak. I'm able to read your lips. I'll be able to gesture towards you, but I don't speak. And then possibly someone said, chink, not for me, and then disinvited her to be the candidate. Exactly right, Mark. She don't want to be ruled out. And like, I accept that. I think that's good. It just led to a really, really, really set of awkward moments. And that's fine. Awkwardness is the price of engaging with people sometimes.
Yeah, it would have been smoother if when she came in, she had like a sign or just something on her phone that said, hi, I don't like speak or whatever, just so you're aware. And so maybe it would be smoothest if we communicate this way or something.
Yeah, or just so you know, please turn towards me when you're speaking. Yeah. Like, that would have made sense also. And again, I don't want to put it on her, and I know I don't want to put it on her except insofar as she as she is interviewing with us, and so part of her job is also to make us comfortable giving her our keys, giving her the rights to our house while we're gone. Because someone joked earlier, is it possible that that she's faking all of this so we don't suspect her and she's going to rob us blind? It's a possibility. If on next Saturday you don't see me go live, it's because she stole the streaming computer. But yeah, it was just an experience I had that was notable enough that I think that you all would be interested in hearing it. See, hearing feels bad now. I shouldn't even say his word. Yeah, Noms, what's up?
Two things. One, I'm not sure she's deaf. Like, I haven't looked into this, but I don't know if it's possible that people might not be deaf, but just don't speak.
Sure.
She does produce like I've heard her voice, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't understand the physiology there.
Sure.
So I don't know.
Quickly on that. So I don't know how to say this in a way that's not potentially disrespectful, but I'm gonna go for it. The bit of her voice I heard sounded to me like standard deaf voice, which is the kind of voice that accentuates in a way that's different than ordinary speech. Ordinary is the right word there. And so it struck me that potentially she's deaf, but also that she did not respond to any noise I made ever while facing away from me suggests she may have been deaf. With that said, by the end of the day, we were primarily responding with thumbs up back and forth. So I was indicating, like, here's the water, thumbs up, and she'd give me the thumbs up back, and that's nice enough.
Yeah, and it was good that you had actually written down instructions beforehand, because she read through that real fast.
Absolutely, and if I hadn't written things down and thought that she was just being awkward and not wanting to talk to awkwardness, how would I have indicated like 3/4 cups of food a day? Or more importantly, which I did write down on a sheet of paper, when you visit, please pour a little bit of water on the ground, because that's Fritz's favorite treat. It's good old groundwater. So yeah, when I met her outside, did she respond to my sound or presence? No, it was only when she looked towards me that happened. So yeah, it sure was something. You have more story time now.
Yeah, this is number two. Remember how we started with this story with, this is a sitcom and I don't know how this happened to me?
Yes.
I know how this happened to you.
How do these things keep happening to me that I can make an entire Resorty in Japan sitcom?
Resorty is a rube. The vast majority of us would have chosen the tattooed Spaniard.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. And this does raise an interesting question. Disclosing disability before an interview creates opportunity for prejudice. I agree.
Potentially yesterday was still part of the interview, right?
Sure, it is. And, like, of course, until the actual contract starts tomorrow, I can pull out of it. Definitely. Now, with that said, if she is able to do the job, that's great. That's good. It was just awkward. And that's fine. That's fine. The entire story ultimately becomes it was just awkward. But the beginning of the story is, oh no, I'm a horrible human being. What have I done wrong? So it's that kind of thing. Jim wants to say that I'm not a rube. What you got, Nubs?
Oh, I thought that was, like, I thought Jim was saying, I was saying, objection, Your Honor.
I think so. I think he's objecting to your characterization.
I thought maybe I was objecting. He was speaking for me.
Maybe so.
Objection, noms.
It's hard to take seriously, or not take seriously. It's hard to understand intonation and meaning in chat sometimes. And anyway, the rest of the story for me, and this is actually kind of a sincere question for you all, but I think I know the answer already, is I think she's probably going to do a great job. You know, I think she's going to show up, she's going to ignore Fritz, and Fritz is going to hide from her and so on. And, yeah, she'll do well. And she'll leave the key for us, and she'll send us a little picture of Fritz if she sees him. And it's going to be a good time.
How is she going to lock the door?
We gave her a key.
I don't know, at the end.
Yep, she's locked the key and then put the key in the mailbox.
Oh, you told her to do that.
I didn't tell her to do this. This is the standard, as I understand it from reading online. That said, I'll send her an explicit message that says, or a message, hey, baby. I'll send her a message that explicitly says, hey, please do this. And that's a standard way of doing it. Our mailbox is well protected outside. But, right, when I leave a review, you know, part of the review is to say, you know, how this person was and, you know, not just how the job went, but also, you know, they're trustworthy, right? These kind of traits generally. Do I have an obligation? And again, I think I know the answer here, but do I have an obligation in my review to say, hey, by the way, she's a person who does not speak, but there was no problem whatsoever with that. Now, that she chooses not to disclose, good and right, etc., but the reviews are a place for the consumer to also inform other consumers. So on things like Airbnb or Yelp, people often say, hey, here's something I noticed that they don't mention, but is useful to know going in. Now, my answer is probably I shouldn't do that. I should leave that choice to her entirely. But that then means, you know, throughout Tokyo, there will be people having this, oh no, what have I done wrong experience over and over again.
Or I wonder how long she's been in Japan.
Sure.
But part of my thinking was, I don't know if she meets all of her clients before she is hired by them. If we had never met her and you just left the key somewhere and she just did the work, we would never have known.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if that's also why she's in this line of work.
Sure. Yeah, my sense is, my sense is that, what's my sense here? I think she's probably pretty new to Japan. But I don't know that for sure. Hey, Slivers, good seeing you. Just quick story time for sure.
Hi.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Slivers. I think Hinata, you're right. That I can talk to her about it. Now, I don't know a way of bringing up this message. So hey, you're not speaking. so hey, I think you're deaf. You know, do you mind if I can talk to you about how you present that? Because I felt pretty bad, right? I think on my side, this feels bad, man. But at the same time, I agree with Game Urchin that if you can do some kind of like direct feedback to the person, even saying like if you just had a card that you handed over when we started that explains the situation, that'd be really, really great. So I agree it's the case that one can make public feedback that includes we left written instructions, we had written instructions in hand that was really useful, that hints the direction of how to help people, or hints the direction of what ought to be done, without coming around and saying, wow, she's actually potentially a deaf person. That's how it goes. People with limitation have one wish: to be treated as equals. I agree. I agree. Hard drive, good seeing you. I do not want to say she is bad and wrong, etc. And
I think because she's in customer service, it's difficult.
Exactly right.
Difficult thing.
Exactly. How would you prefer we communicate, Jim? That's a best way of saying it. Now, the issue, of course, is we've already been communicating by text in English, and I mean, obviously, I went in with an assumption that the person I would meet would engage in the communication style that I'm most used to. And Nam said a moment ago, and I kind of agree, that for me to say at moment one, how do you want us to communicate, feels like calling her out in some way. So maybe I should have done that, but you will recall at the start of the story, I thought I was in the wrong here. I did not understand. I don't know though. I don't know. I think that's why I would indicate to her, wouldn't it be great if she started that conversation? Wouldn't it be great?
Oh, I'm just saying that I want to talk next.
Has the stream degraded to the point we have to treat it as a classroom? Is this a bit, or you feel like you can't get your words in?
No, this is just me saying I have a thought.
Excellent.
I'm lining up next to speak.
I mentioned previously that back in a small town I went to, I had this physician who tried to help me with my mental health, and he was the sweetest man ever. But the way in which he fixed this kind of conversation problem, where people would want to talk but not have a turn to, or talk and talk over each other, he would talk for a bit as the physician and say, the symptoms I'm noticing are this and that. Very calm man. I would like to put you onto this kind of training, etc., etc., etc. It would be really great if you would do this. What do you think? And he would then gesture at you while you talk. And then once he was fairly sure you were done, he waited a beat. He would then gesture back to himself and began speaking.
His hand is the conch.
His hand is the conch. Yeah. It was absolutely off-putting the first time it happened. Like, wait, why is this man gesturing at me? But then I realized it's actually a really smart way of ensuring clear communication, a really smart way of ensuring that I think he was kind of awkward, and so probably making him feel comfortable and the patient feel comfortable. I ultimately loved it. Let me finish my sentence, and then we'll go back to you, my friends, my noun brother. Hey, also good seeing you. What was I saying? Yeah, I think that I'd like her to start the conversation of here's how we should communicate. Because it is just a real moment of awkwardness otherwise. And so she could have a card and say, hi, I'd like it if we communicate via gesture, or please make sure you're looking towards me when we start talking. She doesn't have to disclose ahead of time. It would just be nice, it'd be kind. And so I think in a private review, maybe messaging to her, I could say, just so you know, it would be really nice if this. Just so you know, in that first interview, which actually is really common, you talk to the person, you engage with the person in person to make sure they're who they say they are, to show them around to the cat and so on. And on the website it says actually make sure you do that so you're comfortable with them. But that's how it goes. Noms, you had your hand raised. What's going on?
Now I have two things. I will get to my second thing, which was my original thing, in a moment. What I was thinking was actually, I remembered that she's in an English language facing site,
Yep.
right? But I was thinking if she's interacting with Japanese clients, there is not no difference, but there isn't much difference in the interaction that she would have with the Japanese client, right? Unless the Japanese client really felt comfortable in English and tried to speak English, but
Yeah.
probably things would happen by translation device.
I think you're right.
Anyway.
Now, I could imagine that there are some more traditional Japanese people here who'd prefer to have someone who spoke Japanese,
Exactly.
especially to send updates. I mean, for one reason, like vague racism. Number two, though, to be able to send updates on here's how the cat's doing. If the person sent a message like, hey, give him more food, be able to respond to that easily in Japanese. Now, you can use translation things, etc. But yeah, I agree with you. There are communication moments here in Japan, interactions in which one just kind of gestures along and makes noises to the degree you can about this word I think in Japanese, or you say the word in English and put an ooh on the end. But it's a very good point, though. Very
Yeah,
good point.
I mean, it could be the case. Yeah, like the most people, we have seen conversations happen exclusively through their devices.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
Where people are typing something in, and Google Translate is saying it, spitting it out in the other language.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, or not agree with the case. I think it's the case that if a service is coming towards me, I'm not going to the service, and I'm writing back and forth in Japanese, I think I would assume the person speaks Japanese, or would say, so I don't speak Japanese, but maybe that's not true. That's not true. Hey, Snurd, good seeing you, and Pepper, thanks for helping. It is a standing desk. Many people would like Gerald Noms here to be standing on some boxes, possibly, but this is a bit, and the bit is to have me tall Noms. On days when we do Nom streams, when she plays a video game, her face is in frame and mine is partially cut off. It's a nice little bit, but yeah, standing desk I've been using for years now. Love it, love it, love it. A great thing. Two, yep.
The two thing is something, it's in response to something Eka said, I think as a joke, yes. Eka said, obviously we should ask an AI what's the ethical thing to do here in this case. And what's interesting is yesterday I was listening to this podcast wherein I learned that many of the Silicon Valley types who work on the large language models have been using Claude as a kind of like a personal something to bounce things off.
Personal interlocutor.
Yeah. So so I think that's super interesting, and so some of the reasons why people seem to be choosing Claude over like ChatGPT or something seems to be, one, it has been trained to be quote unquote less sycophantic, so it's less likely to agree with you. Also, the other thing, which I didn't tell you about earlier, is Claude is not connected to the internet. So Claude's knowledge of the world runs out about like a year ago or something. And so people have said that talking to Claude feels like talking, like Claude doesn't have a voice feature. It feels like talking to a friend or somebody who has limited knowledge, as opposed to when you're talking to your friend and the friend says, well, let me just pull out my Google phone and look up the answer, is what the other ones feel like.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing is, so this is the Hard Fork podcast from the New York Times.
Hard Fork?
Hard Fork.
Oh, striking. Yeah.
And so they also suggested that if Claude engineers are listening, probably in terms of features, adding a voice feature might be a very good choice for Claude, just because I guess the other LLMs, when you talk to them, they say they sound like a desperate, breathless intern, where they're always like, is there anything else I can do for you? Can I help you some other way? And so Claude's particular personality might be much more appealing than the other AI helper assistants, where they come across as very,
like a toady.
Very sycophantic.
Paul Harvey, thank you so much for your generous resub. It's always good seeing you. And yeah, thanks. I do appreciate that. Support of the channel, all very good. Let me mention, but I didn't plan to mention today, but one last time, I swear last time, if you want me to send you a New Year's card from Japan, I will do it. Just click the link in chat there. Write in whatever you want, your email address, your Discord message, your your Discord name, your private message here, or your address, and I'll send you a I'll send you a New Year's card from all here in Tokyo. And we're up to almost 150 which is what is it? 50% again from last year, even more than that. So a sign of community growth and awesome stuff too. So what you got?
Two things.
I want to respond to your first comments. Is it on the same topic or?
Yeah, this is kind of. One is very quick, and one is just a follow up to that. So I'm also super interested in the fact that like these Silicon Valley tech AI types are using Claude because they're using it apparently as a measure to see what the mean of society would say, right? Because of how LLMs work, they're just giving you the most likely next thing, right? Or the most likely output. And so they're using it in a way to say, well, what would an average person think about this?
Let's go to the man on the street.
Right, and so I think that's super, it's interesting because it recognizes what it is that it is doing and is using it for that purpose in particular.
When you said it is recognizing what it's doing,
Oh.
you mean of the person who's using it.
Yeah, that
I was
that
like, no,
interaction.
there is no recursion. We don't allow it to know itself.
That interaction recognizes what it is that Claude actually is, as opposed to like Claude is not a person, Claude is not thinking, Claude is not.
It's
like,
not the super AI that will rule us all.
Claude is a next word predictor.
Yeah.
So that was thing one. Thing two is it's Snerd Perd's first time here, and this is their first interaction on the channel.
Absolutely.
This is not completely atypical, but it's a little atypical. Welcome, we're sorry.
That should be our new follower pop-up. Welcome, we're sorry.
But just because this is completely this is not a time that you usually stream. This is not the directory you're usually in.
It's true.
You're not even wearing a suit, even though you're suit guy.
It's true. Yeah. Dolphin Chemist pop-up says someone has made a big mistake for followers. I think I might choose yours. That's absolutely great. It's a different stream, but it's a normal stream, and anyone who's willing to tolerate this might tolerate the staring at maps also. Who knows? Yesterday in stream we talked about rubber ducking, the ways in which people will talk their ideas out with a rubber ducky traditionally.
Is that a normal term, rubber ducking?
Yeah, it's a programmer thing is where it started, I believe. But yeah, I think that this usage of things like yield the LLMs is just the next step in that. And as long as one goes into it with the knowledge that what you're getting out of it is just kind of bounce back feedback, it's very similar enough to rubber ducking. Now I recognize this is yet another day talking about the LLMs. There's at least one viewer is probably throwing things at the screen.
Someone's like, oh, I've been looking for the next degree after my Juris Doctor. Let's learn more about this.
I don't understand the reference.
The LLM is a Master of Laws degree.
Well done. I didn't make the connection there.
A lot of law school people are very unhappy about LLM being taken over as an acronym by the large language model.
Absolutely right. In the same way, if people use begging the question, I get angry. I understand why the J people get angry about this. I thought you were making a metaphorical reference. I'm like, wait, what have I missed? Who's a law student here?
No, they just lost territory.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Well, they should. So I think that's all good and interesting. I will not be asking the ChatGPT Gemini thing what we have to do in this case of now knowing that
I have a Claude account.
Cool. Do you want to ask on stream? So the reason I'm hesitant to have you do that on stream is because...
Oh, not on stream.
Oh, I see. Yeah, usually when I say I'm not going to do something, what I mean is just I'm not going to do it on stream.
Oh.
So I'll say, for example, like, I'm not going to take a shower, meaning I'm not going to have a shower cam, right? I would never say this, but that kind of thing.
Oh. Wow, I did not realize that.
Yeah, it's about boundaries and limitations of what we do here. In the same way that, like, a couple of weeks ago, I got an email from a student that popped up on my phone when I was doing something, and I said, I needed to respond to that email. It's important to do it. And I said, I could do that right now, but no, I'm not going to respond to the student. But that I don't mean I'm never going to respond to the student, just not here right now. What's up, Nams?
I would like to speak on the topic of acronyms and how there's only so many and they're being taken over, like LLM. this morning I read an essay by Ross Gay, who writes the Book of Delights. It was a lovely little 2 or 3 page essay. Today's was not so good. He was talking about Olympics. Now, probably because I never watched or had heard of this thing, that particular one didn't mean much to me. I think it was an HBO show. We did not grow up in premium cable homes, so don't know this.
It's true. Real quick, when you say Olympics, is it a portmanteau of animals and Olympics?
Yes.
Oh, very good, thank you.
Yes. It's some cartoon show, apparently. But he was talking about how much he watched it as a child, and then also, like, the other thing that people watched was, that he watched was the WWF. And so originally I was thinking, oh, animals. Oh, it's the World Wildlife Fund. Oh, maybe it's that box of like the cards where you can collect.
This is an old reference, but checks out.
So I thought he was talking about the World Wildlife Fund when he said WWF, because we were talking about animals. Now, I don't think that's actually the name of that box. But then, as I read that paragraph more, I realized, no, he was referring to the World Wrestling Federation. That's another mistake, like acronym, what's that? Acronym confusion.
Yeah.
WWF sued WWF into changing to WWE, and that's
absolutely.
why it's WWE now.
Yeah, I think that's very strange, though.
see.
I think it's very strange because you're allowed to have overlapping brand names so long as no one would get confused, right? So you're allowed to have radically different. I can't think of examples right now, but there are some of these.
These are both consumer products.
Yes, but they're so widely divergent in what they are and what they do, and they have like different font types and so on. I don't know. I don't want to say this is how they should have ruled by any means. I'm sure they made good decisions, but Apple credits Apple Computer. Exactly right. I think there's actually a lawsuit about whether Apple Records would say no Apple computers. But yeah, who knows? Anyway, these boxes? These boxes were the glory, I think, of both of our childhoods.
I didn't have them. I just remember seeing them on television.
I think we had some of the cards, maybe. Probably purchased at a garage sale. Or maybe we had the full thing. I can't remember right now. But I love looking through and learning about the animals of the world. The problem is Jake the Snake, right? Maybe Jake the Snake is the crossover character. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's zoo books also. Cool. Yeah, there's things that occasionally someone mentions it, whether it's Nom or someone in channel mentions that, remember this thing from childhood, and it always delights me. The Wildlife Treasury, it's called, apparently.
I think it's a little sad that these aren't around anymore. Like, I understand that we have now the internet, but I don't know.
That's great.
Maybe it's because I like card catalogs. Like,
you like collections a tremendous amount. You really like collecting things in a way that I don't understand, but I love it about you.
Don't worry, it's in my blood. Because I don't know if you've noticed, Japanese people love collecting things.
I would never, ever say that. Don't you worry. So it is the case now that we've been live for an hour 15 minutes.
Gosh.
We do need to get going because we have to pack and so on today before leaving tomorrow.
But we're having so much fun.
We're having a lot of fun. It's true. Hey, good seeing you today, our Assault. We'll return to Hearts of Iron 4 anytime soon. I think I'm going to say that the next Paradox game we play will be that. I do very much want to do Hearts of Iron 4 again. I want to learn more of the game, but only so much time, only so many games. We played at a time. When we're back in a week or so, we'll have a day of Farm Sim. We'll also have a day of, and then back down to Warhammer 3. After that, who knows what we'll do. We'll see. I see Noms has brought show and tell items.
Yeah, I would like for you to show these to them because I think they're kind of cool, and
I agree.
They might think they're kind of cool.
I definitely agree. Yeah, some people the streamer is super board gamey, so board gamey time. Here we go. Number one. Before this goes up, you will recall on Friday's stream, I believe. No, Saturday's stream, yesterday. A large portion of the beginning of the stream was me being despairing, I suppose, about a faculty meeting I'd had and how spiteful's fair. I think I was venting. I think I was appropriately frustrated by colleagues. One of my colleagues is part of the story. FYI, one of the worst of my colleagues. All right, so this board game is called Marrakesh. Marrakesh.
I've played it before, but look, this is the Japanese edition. It kind of provisionally belongs to me because I bought it used, but I bought it with the intention of passing it on to the board game club here at school. But insofar as we are in break and the students aren't here, it is still in my possession, which means I brought them home because I thought, oh, maybe we'll play them over break. We have friends. We know people. Maybe they would like to play games with us over break.
We have friends. I swear we have friends.
Now, maybe they won't be our friends after we play board games.
Oh, that's not true.
This is always. I think it.
Oh, yeah.
It's always difficult playing games with people, right? Because you don't know.
Yeah.
What their personalities are going to be like
it's
in
true.
gaming. And then for me, it's a little stressful because I have to try really, really hard and work really hard to tamp down my competitiveness, and I have to try really hard to be super friendly.
Yeah. The balance between like maintaining friendship and playing the game well it is a tough one for me also, which is why I'm a little bit terrified of the multiplayer stream we're doing in a while, because I'm very bad at Paradox games. I may have to ban some viewers. We'll see. All right, quick moment though. Noms, from whom did you buy this game? From whom?
The colleague that responded to every single person's thing.
Every single comment in the meeting he personally replied to as if he was the only real person in the room. Noms gave that man money!
Yeah, but I gave him such a... Like, these are basically in new condition.
Yeah.
And what he asked for was probably like 1/8 of what they cost.
We can recontextualize the story. Noms ripped off my colleague.
So Marrakesh I've played before. This one I've never played before. And I don't know, it has like 6.7, 6.9 on Board Game Geek, Board Game, whatever.
Out of what? Out of 10?
10.
A good solid D+, everyone loves that.
Yeah.
Game number 2, this was mentioned in stream yesterday, and no one had mentioned they knew it. Now that said, the person who knows board games best in our stream is Slivers, but Slivers is also the one who most hates talking about LLMs. And so I was joking about at least
driven him away.
At least someone has thrown something at the screen and marched off. It is Slivers, the board game king, and so we'll need to tell him we got these separately.
He's gonna be like, I missed out.
Yeah, because he wants us to talk about board games all the time. We never do. Anyway, game number 2 is called Brazil Imperial. Zé Mendes. And so, if you like your Victoria 3, colonizing everybody, apparently a game of colonization. Noms, what do you know about this one?
Nothing. I know absolutely nothing about it.
Green.
It's what I learned is that it is supposed to be a combination of some sort of traditional, resource management game, plus what they call 4X games.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I play 4X games here. If this is actually a grand strategy game or a big explore, exterminate...
Yes.
Oh,
that's what this is.
Well, I've found my new purpose in life, and it's to beat our friends in this game.
Yeah, we can also invite our friend who's a game tester to this, and he plays a lot of games too. A lot of video games primarily.
Yeah, but he plays games that are like RPGs. He's a smart guy, but I'm ready to go toe to toe with him.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if we know anybody who would be good company for you for that game.
Yeah, that's all right.
Game.
Now, these games apparently are both quite long games, and so they may not be appropriate for a quick evening together. I don't know.
I mean, when are quick evenings actually quick evenings?
You play a round of Rummy. You play a game of Monopoly until someone throws the board over.
What I was trying to say is, whenever we meet up with people, even if it's like, oh, we're just gonna have dinner, it's like 4 hours, so we might as well play a game.
I mean, I think part of that is the kind of people that we've made as friends are ones who are very thoughtful, tend to be fairly intelligent, and want to spend time thinking through ideas and stories kind of carefully, as opposed to just popping off about this and that, and then the timer goes off and off you go. So anytime we go out for dinner with someone, unless it's a student, I expect that we're going to be fairly long night. Yeah.
The other thing I realized is over break, the school is shut down. The school is closed. However, I know how to get into all the spaces, but there's like I am not proposing that we go to school to play these games, but there is one newer space that I think lends itself. Like, it reminds me of a place that you would go to play board games because there's a big table, there's like a TV screen, there's a kitchen, there's a bathroom. It's like this sort of... We used to play, or I used to, not you, used to play board games in the fire hall in the little town that we used to live in, because they would rent out the fire hall, which had a bunch of tables, a big old kitchen, and bathrooms and everything. So it was a mutual group space. Real quick,
when you say the fire hall, you mean the place where the fire trucks live?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it was like the other side of the place where the fire trucks live.
Cool.
There was like just a huge room with lots of tables that, and it had like a kitchen area, and so everybody brought a little bit of food, and it was potluck, and you just milled around and played whatever games you wanted to with other people and tried really hard not to be too competitive.
Yeah, I mean, that social side I definitely struggle with, the side of keeping friends while playing games. To this though, Nam's breaking in and using the...
It's not breaking in.
So using your master key, your knowledge of the master codes to get into the building over break will probably reinforce the thing that students occasionally unthinkingly believe, which is that the professors live in the school, right? When the class day is done, the professors just stay there, and the students go to have full lives, and we sleep under our desks or something. I remember as a youngster...
We don't sleep, we just...
Continue
stay
grading,
there.
yeah, absolutely. Continue contriving schemes to make their lives worse as possible. I love Stern's message about playing Accident Allies with using sticks to push units around. I've never actually played Accident Allies. 3 times, friends and I have spent an evening setting up the game, and then said, next weekend we'll play it. And then we never actually, next weekend we play it. So, it's how it goes. But yeah, maybe we'll do board games. And we do say we're going to play board games every single long break, and we've not done since we moved in Japan. We have a game that we started in the US, a game of Pandemic Legacy, I believe, that we brought everything with to set up, and that we just didn't play it at all. So maybe this break we'll play that. I was thinking instead we could sneak into the university and go to the student areas where they keep their supplies and put this into the board game club boxes. And then they'd be big surprise. The ghost of Christmas present will bring them presents.
I think their lockers are locked. They use a series of lockers to put all their... And I think they might be locked. I was just going to ask them if they wanted them, because they may already have them, and for some reason they may not want duplicates. My guess is that they should want duplicates.
Yeah.
What I want more than anything in the world is for them to organize a system whereby you can check out the games.
Yeah, as I said before, like some libraries do have that. We have some younger librarians these days. I wonder if they would be interested in starting a board game rental system. The problem, of course, is it is so fiddly to count all of the pieces and make sure everything's returned well, especially if you're not giving a deposit for it, or actually paying money to like a central fund. So I see why I wouldn't want to do it at a university library.
I've tried to see if it's possible for them to take in other things that are not strictly books, but are other pieces of educational resources, and they've said no.
When you say that, what kind of thing do you have in mind?
Like equipment, like
I see.
Scientific equipment.
Okay.
So that students can check it out. So they said no.
I don't want our students synthesizing drugs here in Tokyo.
It's more like right now, as at many universities, right? if a student wants to check something out, they have to, like, it's so decentralized. So they have to go to a different unit. Each unit uses a different piece of software, and so they have to make
check out the camera, check out the computer, check out the I
exactly.
get it.
So centralizing it a little bit is helpful. One of the brands that's written on the side of that is Meeple BR.
Meeple?
Meeple.
So BR probably Brazil, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So
I love that.
It's probably related to Catan in some way.
Yeah, I don't know at all. We got more stories.
Oh boy, now you're all excited about the Brazil game.
So I'm not excited about it actually because I think it'll take too long to play. But yeah, I mean, the idea of being able to use my alleged knowledge of computer games in board game form is great. There are not many. There's some games we've tried to play that are sold as strategy games that feel very much like board games, and I've not been able to make them compelling for stream or for my own enjoyment. I think part of the joy of board games is talking with folks, and so if a game is too board game-like on stream, I sort of just fizzle out quickly on being able to talk about interesting things. So yeah, I mean, if it's more 4X than board game, that'd be really great. I look forward to narrating the entirety of the board game night. That's the only way I know how to play 4Xs is to say what I'm doing, and then occasionally I'll have to step away from the game and say, "Okay, chat, what are the mechanics I don't understand? Chat, teach me how to play," and then I come back and win big because I have the knowledge from you all.
Yeah.
There are more stories, including a story about curry that's absolutely amazing.
There is?
Look to your left.
Oh, that story.
Yeah. A story about curry is absolutely amazing. I want to share with you all. I have stories about the end of term. I have stories about student feedback forums. I have a lot of stories I want to share with you all, but we do have to go away because, yes, indeed, we are officially on vacation as of today. And that's so cool. That's so cool. So many good messages here. So many messages I want to engage with and bring up loosely tangential topics on Wikipedia. It's true. I actually wanted to play Redactyl today, so really and sincerely, I thought the way today's stream would go, I said to Noms I want to do 45 minutes. So my intention was to have this 7-minute opening song, then to have like 5 minutes of hello, how's it going, and then tell my little story over about 10 minutes, the story of the cat sitter visit, and then quickly do the Redactyl and say goodbye. Did this work out? No. Was it fun? Yes. Or at least I think so. Noms, any closing comments?
I think you will enjoy I Do Not Exist comment there.
I'll definitely read it. I now see the joke. That's wonderful, Exist. Thank you. I'm sorry I can't read it all right now. Hey, it's my dad. Nom Dick Gamer Dad says, have fun. Hi, Noms. Dad, really good seeing you. I hope I didn't say anything too revealing today. Anytime when my parents says hello, I was like, oh gosh, what have I said in the past hour? But Dad, awesome seeing you. Take care. Noms, let's say goodbye. What should I do? What's the old joke?
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Yeah, say goodnight, Noms.
Good night, Noms.
Hey, very good. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. See you again in just 1 week or so. Goodbye.